convention is now in session. You know, I feel like a man on death row. I only have a few hours left. But you know, you all assist amaze me. Operation Comfort Warrior. We're still getting checks, we're still getting cash. And I just want to go through what we got this morning. We've got $25 from my bet on membership. We got a $100 check from the Department of Illinois, a couple from there, I can't pronounce their last name, $100. From Rock Falls, Illinois, $25. Arkansas Post 355, Department of Indiana, $500. Charles Yance Post 73, Franklin, Virginia, $800. Thank you all so very much. We begin this morning by recognizing outstanding achievement in journalism that has a positive impact on our communities. The American Legion Fourth Estate Award is difficult to earn. It is a testament to the demanding nature of competition and the quality of entries. Not only do the reports have to be informative and entertaining, they have to provide a tangible benefit to the society. Being honored in the broadcast category is KITV TV in Hawaii. Producers Pamela Young, Rex von Oswald, and Gary Sprinkle tell a story of hope, faith, and courage in a one-hour documentary about the life of Marianne Cope, a late 19th century nun known for her charitable work and care for the Hawaiian Islands. On October the 21st, 2012, Sister Cope was canonized in saint by the Vatican. Please turn your attention to the video monitors.
Reverend Mother Superior, the King of the Archipelago sent me to this country to look for sisters who would take charge of our hospitals and even our schools. I beg you to assist us in our work. Father F. Leonore Fusnel.
It was a plea issued to dozens of convents. Only one responded. Now 43 and the newly elected provincial mother of the Franciscan community of Central New York, Mother Marianne was an administrator, a nurse, a pharmacist. But one question remained in her mind. Why was the need for medical care in Hawaii so acute? At no time in his letter did Fusnel mention that an epidemic was sweeping the islands. Mai Pake, it was called because it afflicted so many Chinese. Also, Mai Ho'oka'awale Ohana, the sickness that tears families apart. The insidious disease making its way to Hawaiian shores was already known the world over as leprosy. The death before dying, it was called, and it always ended in death. In 1865, isolation was the only solution. The Kingdom of Hawaii bought out farmlands on the peninsula known as Makanalua, which means grave pit. The first boatload of patients was deposited at Kalawao. 9 men, 3 women, hundreds to follow. The government thought the exiles would be self-sufficient in this fertile valley, but most were too sick to take up the plow. Desperation drove the strong to prey on the weak. Life expectancy after arrival, 3.5 years. Only when Fusnel traveled to New York to seal the deal did he divulge the nature of the crisis. Mother Marianne did not hesitate.
I hardly know what to say. Shall I regard your kind invitation to join in your missionary labors as coming from God? My interest is awakened, and I feel an irresistible force drawing me to follow this call.
What was this irresistible force? Perhaps the same call that brought her as a young girl to the Franciscan order, to follow in the path of the luminaries from whom she drew strength and inspiration. We have come more than 12,000 miles for this day. Just a few steps more. We have waited nearly 100 years. just a few minutes more. Since the 4th century, the Vatican has singled out individuals of virtue, of piety and sacrifice, and placed their names on a canon or list. Those canonized are revered as examples of saintly life. The Good Mother never saw the splendor of the Basilica, never stepped foot in this glory of Renaissance artistry. But now she is forever a part of Vatican history.
Mariam Annam Cope.
Archbishop Angelo Armato of the Congregatio de Costi Santorum announces the candidates have been duly investigated. The miracles confirmed. 7 blesseds will be promoted, with the Pope issuing the formal declaration in Latin and the language of the blessed.
Mother Marianne willingly embraced the call to care for the lepers of Hawaii after many others had refused. She personally went with 6 of her fellow sisters to manage a hospital on Oahu, later founding Malulani Hospital on Maui, and opening a home for girls whose parents were lepers. 5 years after that, she accepted the invitation to open a home for women and girls on the island of Molokai itself. Marianne Cope showed the highest love.
Sharon Smith, the Miraculum, healed by prayers to Mother Marianne, presents her relic to the altar. Representing all the patients, Pauline Chow and Sister Alicia Damian Lau receive Holy Communion from the Pope.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
And with a final blessing, it is done.
Finally, we can proclaim what we've always known, that she was a saint, and that because of her example, we can touch more people. But now with the title, as we go with titles, then we can really just say, Saint Marianne.
She belongs to everyone now. The young girl from the mills, the young sister who became a nurse, the Mother Superior who left the life she'd always known for a wounded land of desperate souls. And every step of the way, she asked for strength, for guidance, and grace. This was a story about prayer. These are the last. Of the more than 8,000 souls torn from families and cast into isolation on these shores, these are the very last. None will follow. How do we keep their stories alive into generations that will never know the part they played in Hawaii's history? We honor them when we sanctify those who chose to live, work, and die among them, those who offered care, solace, and above all, love. And with that love, they remind us of the power of the human will to triumph with enduring grace.
Accepting the award from KITV is producer Pamela Young.
The award reads, the 2013 Fourth Estate Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Journalism is presented to KITV News for a documentary by Pamela Young, Rex von Arnswald, and Gary Sprinkle on the life of Marianne Cope, her canonization and work in leprosy settlements in the mid-1800s, Enduring Grace, presented at the 95th National Convention, August 29, 2013, Houston, Texas.
Mahalo. Of the more than 8,000 people sent to Kalaupapa, diagnosed with leprosy, only 17 remain. And so in choosing to honor this program, you honor each one of them. They are our living treasures. They represent a dark part of our history, but they're also a beacon of light for a future without prejudice and without fear. And thank you so much for hosting us. I was saying earlier, I've heard more accents here than I have in my whole life. And this morning, I learned the proper way of how to say North Carolina. And yesterday, I learned how to say Texas. The city I'm from is pronounced Honolulu, not Honolulu. And it's Hawaii, if you're speaking to a Hawaiian, but you can say Hawaii. And you are all welcome. Thank you so much.
The Fourth Estate Internet New Media Award goes to a repeat winner, Alex Quad, a freelance war correspondent. He won in 2012 and is being recognized. She is being recognized for her video report, Chinook Down, which is produced for the New York Times Online. Her short documentary revealed the full story and human toll behind WikiLeaks' headline of a helicopter shot down by a missile in Afghanistan, which killed all on board. Here is a clip of that great piece.
WikiLeaks.org, a whistleblower website.
More than 76,000
92,000 and a potential bomb cell
The White House
the White House reacted quickly. They contained some pretty interesting revelations.
But the Taliban did have heat-seeking missiles and were using that to bring down American helicopters.
This is the story behind those WikiLeaks and the heroes behind the story, which nobody has heard before now. At Arlington National Cemetery, former Army helicopter pilot Stu Patu, on the right, mourns his fallen friends and blames himself.
Yeah, I just keep going over and over in my head. You know, it was my job to be the protector of the flippers. I wished it was me. It was my job, you know. It was not his job to get shot at, you know. It was my job.
Flipper was the call sign of his Chinook helicopter friends. Stu, then an Apache pilot, was their armed escort. It was on Memorial Day, 2007, during a mission into Helmand Province, Afghanistan. This is what Sergeant First Class Greg Strickland and his platoon from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, was already dealing with on that Memorial Day.
We'd killed probably 5 or 6 guys that we know that we saw go down. Yeah, we were in for it. It started getting dark. As I looked west across the river, you could see flashlights, people on motorcycles coming in, just coming towards the fight. There were trucks and cars just coming south. Everybody was funneling in to the fight.
And this is also where Apache pilot Stu and the rest of Greg's battalion were air assaulting in that night, as the air assault into the Taliban strongholds between Kajaki and Sangin begins.
Currently, Aft, some units inside our formation in contact, setting the conditions for us to come in and do our air assault.
God, here we go again.
And as soon as I looked up, I seen a missile streak up into the air. And boom, just a big orange flaming ball as the missile hit the helicopter.
Chinook down, the radio, you know.
Roger, we heard there was a downed aircraft. Can you confirm that?
Yes, I can confirm.
Roger, Arrow, I don't think we're going to be able to get everybody moved out of here. Can you get around the crash site? We're here that they're taking small arms over there.
See that big fire over there now? I don't know what that came from.
When I heard on the radio, Chinook down, and I was like, my heart just jumped. I see this huge fireball. I was just like, oh my God, my heart sank, you know. This aircraft crashed right in the middle of the Taliban. There were Taliban everywhere.
The platoon nearest to the crash was Sergeant Greg Strickland's. They were surrounded. He shot this cell phone video of the burning helicopter before being ambushed.
You know, we're 7 guys. We're out here all by ourselves.
Well, you were outnumbered.
We're definitely outgunned. I didn't know if there were people alive. I didn't know if everybody was dead. I didn't know what was going on. But I knew without a doubt I was not going to leave, you know, because there's American soldiers there.
At a battlefield memorial after the fight, the soldiers mourned their friends killed on the Chinook.
Yeah, it was personal. You know, they shot down some of our comrades. That's personal.
"5 years later, at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Sergeant Greg Strickland's Parachute Infantry Regiment prepares for battle in Afghanistan again. His paratroopers are redeploying to the same Taliban-infested area as before. Before heading back, Greg, now a first sergeant, and Stu, now a civilian helicopter instructor, meet for the first time to honor their Chinook helicopter friends who died on that Memorial Day mission. Then Greg and his paratroopers pack up their gear and say their goodbyes to their families and redeploy to Afghanistan. They are continuing the mission this Memorial Day. Stu worries about Greg back over there while visiting their fallen Chinook helicopter friends at Arlington. Shot down together, the crew known as the Flippers are buried together. That Memorial Day mission still haunts Stu.
Just keep going over and over in my head. You know, it was my job to be the protector of the Flippers, you know, and I just would have wished it was me.
Maybe there is a reason for why you're here,
Yeah.
Stu. Maybe there is a reason why I'm here, why Greg's here.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe it's the duty to carry on so folks don't forget.
But it's hard.
On this Memorial Day, we remember that Memorial Day mission where no soldier was left behind. But for one, moving forward is still a battle. Alex Quaid, Arlington, Virginia.
Accepting the award is correspondent Miss Alex Quaid.
The award reads 2013 Fourth Estate Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Journalism is presented to Alex Quaid, freelance reporter, for a special video report following a 5-year investigation which revealed the full story of a military helicopter shot down in Afghanistan, Chinook Down. Presented at the 95th National Convention, August 29, 2013, Houston, Texas.
Thank you, Commander Kaus and the American Legion. It is an honor to be back with you. I started out as a whippersnapper at Girls State a long time ago, and you guys have kept me honest over the years. Thank you. What you didn't see in that report is that, yes, I was embedded with those guys long term. And yes, I was supposed to be on that helicopter. So by the grace of God, and because at the very last minute, they decided to do a chalk change, 7 people were killed on that helicopter, and it is my duty to continue to tell their stories. After 15 years of covering war zones, hostile environments, and special operations forces on combat missions, I have witnessed some things that you all as veterans know. Qualities such as courage, strength, compassion, loyalty, and bravery know no gender, no race, and no age. Thank you again for this honor. I will continue to tell the stories of our troops. Thank you.
This year's print category award goes to another repeat winner, USA Today. The nation's newspaper conducted a 14-month investigation of more than 460 forgotten lead factory sites. The series of articles by reporters Allison Young and Peter Eichler, titled Ghost Factories, drew calls for action from 7 U.S. senators and has led the EPA to re-examine health risks at the sites. More than a dozen states launched their own investigations, and several sites have already been targeted for cleanup. Accepting the award is reporter Allison Young.
The award reads 2013 Fourth Estate Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Journalism is presented to USA Today for a series of investigative reports by Allison Young and Peter Eisler of 460 forgotten lead factory sites. The in-depth probe brought about congressional action that led to remediation. Presented at the 95th National Convention, August 29, 2013, Houston, Texas.
On behalf of the entire USA Today Ghost Factories team, thank you for this wonderful award. In a day and age when news and newspapers are facing lots of challenges, USA Today made a tremendous commitment, investing time in what was a really unique and mammoth project. You heard, we investigated 460 individual sites all across the country. It involved all kinds of digging into records and spending a lot of time in archives. And our editors at USA Today took a tremendous leap of faith, signing off on a proposal for myself and Peter Eisler, simply reporters, to obtain training to use very sophisticated X-ray analyzers that cost $41,000 apiece, and travel across the country testing soil in the neighborhoods around these former factory sites that have been long forgotten. But the impact has been tremendous, and that's why those of us who do investigative journalism do this, is to hopefully make the world a better place. As you've heard, the EPA is reassessing these sites. Many of them are scheduled for cleanups, and some of them are already being cleaned up. The Inspector General of the EPA is investigating the EPA's handling of the health risks posed by these old factory sites. And on a very personal level, this series has empowered families across the country to take direct actions to protect their families and their children from the lead in the soil in their yards. Like most of us, when we think of lead poisoning, we think about paint. We don't think about the yards where our children play in. So thank you very much for this honor. We greatly appreciate it.